A very good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. It's my pleasure to be here as Sergeant at Arms for today's meeting. I welcome you all to this 79th meeting of Globetrotters Toastmaster Club. With this, a big round of applause for this beautiful Sunday afternoon meeting. Before starting the meeting, I would like to remember the ground rules of Toastmasters meeting. Please rename yourself. All the Toastmaster prefix to your name as TM. Guest can prefix as guest. All the speakers are requested to do a quick audio video check before starting their speech. And they are also requested to prefix their role as per requirement, as it will be easy to identify them. You all are requested to keep your audio on mute in case you are not speaking, and if your video is on, please maintain proper posture. Please do not talk of sex, religion, or politics in a derogatory manner. In Toastmaster, we have a mission. Here, we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Now, I would like to welcome the person who is in Toastmaster from the past 2 years. He is a market access manager by profession, and he is very kind-hearted person. So please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our presiding officer, Toastmaster Mridal Kanti Ghosh. Sir, please take this podium.
Thank you so much for your nice gesture, Toastmaster Mohani. So, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, we are just stories. Onus on us how good we make it. Today, in our workshop or mastering speech preparation from a fresh perspective, we delve into the realm of a dancer and explore how mindset can revolutionize our approach to public speaking, enabling us to connect with the audience in a deeper level and level of lasting impact. I'll not take too much time today. I'll interact with the guest later of the meeting, and also will share our guest book in the chat box. So with that, I just want to invite our Toastmaster of the day today, Toastmaster Richa. Richa has been working as a soft skill trainer since more than 12 years. She has been play a very instrumental role in Toastmaster. She is distinguished Toastmaster, competent communicator, competent leadership. She's a mentor of many top schools like IIT Roorkee. She already completed many pathways in Toastmaster journey. So with that, I just want to hand over the podium Toastmaster Richa.
Thanks a lot for your appreciation and warm welcome. Good evening, all of you. Good afternoon and good morning. It's a pleasure to be here today because this meeting has something more for you on the platter. Today, we have our facilitator, Toastmaster Nikita Winkler. She has a vision to bridge the health, culture, and information gaps in dance performance, teaching, and training. She's a dancer, storyteller, and a traveler. She's a founder of Dance and Heals Namibia, which is there to help in women empowerment. She's also mentoring a lot of women and children Today, it's our pleasure to have her on the virtual platform for Globetrotters Toastmasters Club. She is going to speak on the unconventional path and help us how to master speech preparation from a fresh perspective. The speech moderator in between for questioning round would be Toastmaster Meena. And after the session, we are going to invite DTM Chayan to evaluate her speech. So please put your hands together to welcome on the virtual floor Toastmaster Nikita Winkler, who has been the district champion 86 ISC. Please put your hands together and let's welcome her on the stage. Over to you, Toastmaster Nikita.
Thank you very much for that introduction. I love it. I appreciate it. And it makes me feel so welcomed. Also, see, you've done a lot of research about my work in Namibia. Currently, I am living in Spain, and I am a Toastmaster member of Leadership Speak, which is in Canada. So I am a global citizen, and it's amazing to spend my Sunday here in India. I want to share a secret with you. Oh, it's not a secret, but for you, it's a fun fact, I guess, that I have studied Odissi dance in Nitragram in Bangalore. And I've been to India twice, once in 2015 to work with children with special needs. I thought I was going to do a lot of movement therapy with them, but I ended up teaching them subjects like maths and English. And the second time I went back was to dance. And India has my heart. I absolutely love India the way I love Africa. And yes, I'm just really, really happy to be in this space with you today. So thank you very much. I am no expert at speech preparation. I am only a master of my own technique, right? I only know what works for me. And I'm not sure, am I spotlighted? Can I be, I am? Because I cannot see, I'm seeing you, Richa.
We'll request the tech master to please
There
kindly
we
check.
go.
Yes.
Oh, hello. All right, thank you very much. So yes, what I wanted to say is that I am only a master at my own technique, which is what I will be sharing with you today. I love that the theme for this meeting is life is a journey, because every speech is a journey and has its own life journey. So I would start by actually a quote. I want to share with you the quote by, I hope I pronounce his name right, Dhananjaya, who is a previous world champion of public speaking in 2014. And he commented on one of my social media posts and said to me, dancers make the best speakers. And I'm going to throw that at you. And I want to ask you, why do you think dancers make the best speakers? If you have an answer for that, just put up your hand and unmute yourself and feel free to share. Even if it's just one response. There we go. Richa, yes, please.
I feel it's the best way to express one's emotions.
Thank you. Does anyone have something else to contribute? Yes. Chayan.
I believe dancers can bring their facial expressions beautifully on their face, and that also helps in terms of conveying emotions when you are delivering a speech.
Oh, and that's interesting that you're mentioning this, because Indian dance uses a lot of facial expressions compared to other kinds of dancing, which is it's very much in the Asian culture of dance is the facial expressions. Yes, thank you for sharing. Wow, we all have Meena. Yes, please share.
Stage is a friend for both the dancer and the speaker. So once you're a dancer, you start respecting it. you start using it as your friend and you don't have stage fear. And that brings an element of being a best speaker, to speak
you
with
a-
confidence.
Are you a dancer?
I have learned dancing.
You have?
I've learned Bharatanatyam.
You've learned dancing. Okay. You have danced.
Yeah.
You have danced.
You got me there.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. That's absolutely correct. And I will go into how I prepare for the stage when I give a speech. So I'll definitely touch on that today. And can I have Madhus, feel free. I can only see half your name here. Yes, please unmute yourself. Table Topics Master.
Madam, actions speak louder than words.
Yes.
It's powerful.
Yes, and it's how you make people feel at the end of the day, right? It's like you can have words, but your words make life, emotion, with expression. And at the end of the day, it's there's the action, the energy in our words, the energy in our language that is beyond verbal, that is what people feel, and that goes beyond beyond the internet, beyond walls, beyond seas, beyond mountains. Energy just versus all.
Dance and speaking is so much connected because eye contact and body language is very important in a speech. The speaker is given that extra credit or those brownie points because of the eye contact and the body language, and nothing like it when we dance. We have perfect eye contact with each and every person in the auditorium, and every cell in the body speaks, not just a mouth. Every cell in the body speaks in sync with the lyrics that's in the background. So I feel that a dance makes a better speech.
Oh, I'm loving your responses. Thank you for bringing all this energy to my facilitation today. And yes, you are all point on that this is why dancers make incredible speakers. Now, when I started speaking, it wasn't, well, the reason why I started speaking was because I was really terrible at communication. I was really bad at communication, and I wanted to learn the art of communication, the art of being better at connecting with people. And what I've learned in my journey, as I have spent more time writing, because my work has a lot of writing in it. I don't have a single speech that I have not written. Every single speech that I have said, I have written and I have recorded. And I have recorded it because I am my best critic. And because I'm my best critic, I go back after some time, because I need to give it space. I go back to my speeches and I evaluate myself. And what I also do is I celebrate myself. So I think the first thing that I want to highlight is that whenever we step up into a space to give a speech, we have to celebrate that step that we're taking. That it doesn't matter how messy your speech is, how bad you're going to perform, how disconnected you feel. The first step is taking that step to the stage, to giving a speech and sharing a part of you with your audience. Now, I want to talk about, there's a journey we're going to take today. So right now I'm a bit dispersed, but I want to take you through a journey of preparation, speech crafting, and performing or delivering that speech. But first, just some background. So I saw a workshop with Lance Miller, who is the previous past world championship of public speaking in 2005. And Lance Miller was doing an interview with Verity Price, who is the champion on 2000 and, is it 2 years ago? 2 years ago. And they were talking about what makes a great speech. And Lance said, 20% of it is mechanics, 30% of it is content and your message, and the 50% is the life force of your speech. And that captured my attention. Now, Lance Miller describes life force as taking passion and conviction and breaking that with sincerity, humility, and then putting this combination together to talk to people with compassion and believing in what you are saying. That is his definition of life force. My definition of life force is your unique heartbeat. It's your unique rhythm, and it is your energy. Now, our life force is heightened when we take care of things that ground us, that give us more energy. For example, what we eat, how we affirm ourselves, our posture, our breathing before we do anything, feeling whole, feeling complete, feeling ownership of the space that we step in. That to me is life force. So today I'm a little exhausted, so maybe my life force is not so good. But I could do practices to enhance, do some yoga before I speak, can heighten my life force. And that's my definition of life force. And I feel that people can sense life force. You're also communicating your life force. So as a speaker, you're not just showing up with your voice. You're showing up with your life journey, the journey of that speech, how it resonates with you, how it resonates with your actions, with your beliefs. And so this is important, and I'm sharing this to you because every speech that I bring to the table is so deeply connected to one about the research I do. Or we had, and I said, I don't really like doing research for my speeches. It has to come naturally. It has to flow naturally, because that's the only way that I feel connected to that truth, to that belief, to that experience that I've had. And because I'm so connected to it, it makes it easier for me to share it. Whereas if I'm doing research, you can easily tell when I do research and I'm giving a speech. I am there's a moment of disconnect. My voice might change because I am not speaking my truth. I'm speaking a researched truth. So for me, in writing and preparing my speeches, it's really important that they connect to me and that they come to me naturally and that it's my voice. And even if it's a voice of others, as I've shared with the previous world champions today, it's things that really resonate with me. And that to me is a starting point. That the speech has to flow to me naturally. It comes as a gift. It comes as an idea. Now, movement helps me to generate ideas. So when I was preparing for this, I was walking in circles around a tree in the middle of the city, recording all my ideas on my phone. Because the way that I create space in my mind and I create space in my body and my energy is through movement. So if I'm moving and if I'm talking, this helps the messages flow through me, the ideas flow through me. So I encourage you that you become aware of how your messages flow to you. How do your speeches come to you? And in that awareness, to always find a space, to always come back to that space where you are flowing, where your ideas are flowing. Okay, I'm just going to see, there we go. I would like to ask, before I continue, because it's really important for me to speak on what is relevant to this audience, to you, I would just like to ask, what exactly about preparing your speeches is difficult for you? Which part of it is difficult for you? And if you can, so not taking too much time, just sharing which part is difficult for you. And if you have a specific example, like I find being on stage very difficult because I'm really scared and I have a lot of nervousness, for example, to just share that specificness with me as well. So you can raise your hand. Yes, Toastmaster Chayan.
I think for me, especially in the online era, is managing my background. You know, because we have the requirements of the green screen, and there's always this fear that a part of your body is going to get chopped off as you come forward and go behind. So, you know, that kind of keeps going actively at the back of my head when I'm delivering an online speech. And sometimes you do get feedback saying that, you know, part of your body was not visible and so on. So that more than writing the speech, the delivering of that speech, this particular thing bothers me more.
All right, let me just respond to, it's better for me unless I might forget. As I'm moving, are you losing my body? Are you losing my essence? Are you losing what's important, what you need, or not? Because I have the same Zoom background as you do.
When I'm basing this on certain feedbacks that I received, that that kind of makes it a little difficult for people to see the hand gestures, for example, right? That they are kind of cutting out at some point.
Okay.
So to decide exactly what should be your speaking area, cut off, that for me requires some additional practice before I give a speech, and that somehow kind of, you know, feels like a weight that you carry rather than the speech that you're delivering.
All right, so I have a clear background. Maybe you don't have one. The clear backgrounds are always very useful. I have a front light here for my face, and I have a big light that lights up the room, so I have light on the rest of my body. For me, the most important, and for me, the most is background. But hand on this side, it's disappearing, right? But it's not that important. I wouldn't give it so much importance that parts of your body is disappearing, because like I said, there's so much more to life force, to your presence online, that for me, I really don't care about a little bit of my body disappearing. Sometimes I use this background. This is my ancestral background. When I come and stand as more than just myself. And sometimes this is the blur, I don't use a blur. But what I'm trying to say is that the background, as long as it's not noisy, because the noise distracts from you being the center of attention. So even what we're wearing, I once wore very colorful nail polish and someone said to me, your nails are distracting. And I was like, oh, you see, people focus on many things. So, but the fact that part of your body is disappearing like that, it's so minuscule to the presence that you can bring that it doesn't really matter. There are other things that I would put priority to, like just having a clear background. And I use Canva to create clear backgrounds or whatever I need. It's quick. If you have one background, And the backgrounds I showed you now, those are my three options. I have my white background, I have a black background, and I have my ancestral background, my dancers. And those are my options. I don't have any other options.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Sushmita.
Yeah, hi. I feel really difficult to connect with the audience. Like you came on podium, you started talking. I feel in my speech to craft that how I will be connecting to the audience in a 5 to 7 minute speech.
Are you feeling connected to your speech? To all your speeches?
Yeah, I feel connected to my speech, like I am telling a story. I go so deep inside in that. Mostly I try to pull my stories only from my life. So there I'm not sure how to pull people inside my story.
Yes. I will not respond to that now. All right, so maybe you'll get a response later on as I go through. And
yeah, sure.
It's a very difficult one, connecting to people, especially virtually. How do you feel the presence of others when they're not right in front of you? Because I can teach you how to connect to people in person. And maybe do you have a Toastmasters club when you are in person? Are you doing virtual Toast, or are you're not doing any in presence? Okay.
No.
All right.
No. It's completely
Okay.
virtual.
So I will hopefully you'll find your answer in the rest of my speech. Thank you.
Yeah,
for
sure.
sharing. Toastmaster Amit.
Hi, Nikita. So I find it very difficult to express in terms of facial expressions, and that is something if you can help and guide me on.
So right now I'm thinking, talking to you, what would that be like? Do you have a lot of facial expression when you talk to people, like naturally? Or how is your natural face when it's talking, when it's telling a friend at a house chill out?
Not much expression in real life as well. So that's the problem, I believe.
These are great questions. I'm not sure I have the answer to them. For me, this language comes very naturally, but it's natural because I'm a performer as well. So the answer I thought when you expressed this to me was face yoga. Just like starting to activate different parts of your facial muscles. But also what I found myself doing lately in the mirror is like staring at myself and then just practicing how I can raise one eyebrow and just, so playing with your face. And it's like, as adults, we don't everything that I encounter. Because like just playing, but like looking at yourself and being like flirting with yourself maybe, or being like or doing you really have to play to find a new life to your face, a new life to your movement. Even I am stuck in certain patterns, so I have to also play to get over those patterns that I always repeat. So face yoga, when you are taking a shower, more connection with your body, All right, so the body connection is not just here. So I'm really happy you mentioned face, because even as dancers, I said in Asian cultures, dancers use this a lot, but not so much in Western culture, not so much. And so, sorry. So it's the connection, it's the awareness that we have that this exists, and like not just speaking to you like this the whole time, because that's really robotic, but like just being natural after like enabling life into my face, an openness into my muscles, awareness, sensation. All right, so how do we do that? You really have to be in contact. You have to build awareness. Okay, so I'm speaking to you, and I love doing this because, like I said to you, I like to think and move. It works best for me. So if you want to try, actually, just because I don't want to leave you not having tried, I'm watching you. So just take your, hopefully your hands are clean. If not, let's play. Let's get dirty and messy. Let's just open up the face a little bit. Yes. So all of you, if you want, please just join me. Just use your fingers to create awareness. And then as you start to stretch the muscles in the face with your fingers, also open up your mouth. And then we're chewing gum. And then we're gonna blow. So the same thing I did. So just horse lips relaxing, and then just blowing out. So take a deep inhale, exhale, and blow with the lips together. All right, so you can do a lot more of this. And like I said, like playing with what you can do with your eyes and okay, so keep playing, and thank you so much for that question. We have one more hand up, so general evaluator.
Hey, hello again. My question is about the humor, that is delivery. So ever since I've been a stern as a person, so laughing or the expressions that you told, it doesn't come naturally to me, but I'm working on it of late, and I've got the feedback that it is reflecting. But in my head, a lot of stress is going on, saying, am I good enough or am I progressing or no?
Okay. We just lost our general evaluator, but I think her question, what I got was about humor and feeling good enough, I guess, good enough, prepared enough. Humor for me is difficult, but I'm starting to find my natural humor as well. And my humor is very African because I tend to, I don't know, it's like when you talk to a child, how do you talk to a child? It changes, right? Like when I talk to a child, I have to change my language. I speak better to a child speaking in Afrikaans, which is my mother tongue. And it's the same with humor. It's like with humor, I can't do English humor so well. So my humor is when I go back to the African girl in me. That's when my humor comes out. And it's also, I have to play with it. I have to spend more time changing my speeches and seeing, okay, how can I make it different? How can I add something more natural? So repetition. Okay, I'm going to go from, let's talk about preparation. I spoke about ideas and how I generate my ideas. What is really important for me in terms of capturing these moments of spark. Because the thing is, when they come, you have to capture them. And if you don't capture them, they fade. Like the authenticity of your ideas fade over time if you leave them to settle. So I was never comfortable with a messy process in my life, but by playing, I'm also allowing myself to be messy. So in my mess, I am taking notes everywhere. If I don't have any pen and paper or a book, I take my notes on my phone. If I don't feel like writing, I record my notes as voice notes. I recorded this entire idea of what I would like to share today on a voice note in one moment, a week ago. So that was the moment when I had the spark, when I had the confidence that you have enough material, you have enough journey in your life to share with you today. So when the ideas come to you, capture them right there and right then. Do not let them fade, because those ideas are authentic. And that's how I start. I make sure that I capture them in all different places. And after that, I bring all those notes together on a document. Now, my document is lots of bullet points. I don't know if you have writing in your process of delivering speeches, but it's a really important process for me because I have a goal. My goal is to write a book. My goal is to do blogging. So I have everything documented. So if your goal is different, then it's important to also know to have a distant goal, a future goal, so that your actions now are aligned to that. So then I bring all my ideas onto paper, and what's really important for me is that my ideas can move, like they're never stuck in one place. If one doesn't fit here, I change it, or I bring it down, or however your process is. Mine is quite messy for me, but I'm getting the rhythm of it. So after that, that's when I start crafting a speech. But after I've taken a step away from what I've written, and this is so important, so that just because every day our moods change, every day the life force that we have, the perspective that we have is different than yesterday because of our moods, because of how we woke up and how we slept and what's affecting our day. So I allow my speeches to have very different perspectives. So I take my notes, I take a step from it, I come back, I craft my speech. So basically crafting all those notes, and I do not care about 5 to 7 minutes, because 5 to 7 minutes to me is a limitation. All I care about is my ideas, is getting my ideas down, as many as I can. And then when everything is done, then I practice. Then the practicing is that every time I read what I have to say, I embody it. I do not practice my speech by reading it like, I write long speeches and end up having to mold them into 7 to 5 minute speech, but I don't think about the limitations. No, I stand up on my feet and I practice. I cannot be practicing my speech sitting like this, reading it. No, you have to, from the beginning, bring that life force into the speech. So by the time I have to deliver this speech, it doesn't take too much work for me, because I've been practicing from the first time that I've been rehearsing it. So how do I do that? Every word, give it energy, give it presence, give it priority. And I've also learned through my coaching sessions that don't get stuck on your favorite things. Sometimes they're not meant for that speech. So if I'm reading, I don't really memorize. I just repeat. Now, I know that time is a big factor in everything that we do. So for me, I give everything the time it deserves, and I prioritize it. Today, I came to you with an openness. So instead of practicing what I had to say, I just recalled my voice note that I did a week ago and my points, what I want to leave with you, how I want to progress. And sometimes we also just have to step into the space believing that we can do it. Now, our general evaluator mentioned this insecurity of not being good enough. I affirm myself. I affirm myself so that in every space I don't feel like I'm good enough. What I do is I affirm myself before I step into that space. And all I need to tell myself is that you are here for a reason. You made it here. You are here and you're going to take up your space and you are going to give what you can give. And sometimes that's your best. And sometimes you're not at your best. So you can only give what you can give. So for me, self-affirmations, they help me to own every space I step into. And breathing. Breathing is so critical. Now, when I did the horse lips, that's breath. That's breath. I like to also now, because I'm speaking more, I love to bring voice to my breath versus just the normal deep inhale and exhale. I love to hear my breath in different ways. And however I feel. Now, I'm someone who doesn't like rules, so I make up my own rules. So I breathe as long as I'm breathing and I'm feeling it in my abdomen. The thing is with breath, if you're breathing effectively, the breath will ground you. If you're breathing effectively, the breath will ground you. When I deliver a speech, I want you guys to know that it's okay to breathe. It's okay to take a moment to breathe. It's okay to take a moment for yourself to shake it off. It's okay to take a moment to connect with the audience. Take your space. Take your moment. Now, I also know my weaknesses. And I think this is another important point. It's like, know your weaknesses and be okay with those weaknesses. And just know that it's also a journey to turn those weaknesses into a strength. But weaknesses have to be there for you to find your strength. One of my weaknesses is always starting my speeches because I need time to ground into the speech. Another weakness is ending my speeches because I struggle to bring all those ideas together into a takeaway. And those are my weaknesses. So that's what I end up working towards. So I see the red light is on. And I guess that's a red light, which allows for questions.
So we have another session, 15 minutes for Q&A.
Okay.
That's a separate session.
So ultimately, every speech is a journey, just like life is a journey. It's a journey. It's a journey how it comes to you. It's a journey. Your life force brings energy to that journey. So that's also important, is how you connect to those speeches. And the question about how to connect to audiences, I always believe, always, that the starting place is you. Yesterday I had a workshop, and one of the feedbacks I got was, you're so natural to be around. And that's it. Maybe this person doesn't like the rest of the workshop, but she loves my energy, that it's a natural energy, and that attracts people. So connection with audience starts with a deeper connection with yourself. You have to connect to your truth. You have to connect. Now, I use movement to connect. Movement gives me life force. Movement gives me passion. Movement brings energy to all the words that I articulate to you. And so I encourage you to get into your body. And again, this is a perspective. This is from my perspective, but I highly encourage that once you start speaking from a place of not just here, but all of this, from a place of body and energy, that connection with people it's not a mind thing. We're not connecting to people with our minds. We're connecting to people with so much more, with our life force. So I encourage you to see speech preparation differently. That may hopefully next time you prepare for a speech, get onto your feet, move around your space, take yourself to the beach on a walk to practice your speech. Every time you read it, try to be silly, play. What's up? This is my workshop. Just be a diva or however you feel. But step outside of your comfort zone so you can get different results. And I shall now open this for questions.
Thanks a lot for sharing so many golden nuggets from your journey as a dancer, traveler, trainer, and now for all Toastmasters. The questions are open to all. I would request Toastmaster Meena to please take care as the moderator.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Richa. I shall wait for the questions. Some are already coming in. Before that, I have my first question to you, Nikita. This is from my end. I love the aspect that you mentioned, to be a natural speaker, to embody an emotion and convey the message. While you take part in ISC, how stressful can it be to embody the emotions while you practice and bring it naturally on the stage? And how do you handle it? Is the first question from my end to you.
So when we do a dance, you practice your dance 1,000 times. And I'm talking about choreography. So you practice choreography over and over a span of weeks, months. And still, on the day you're performing, it needs to be fresh. It needs to be fresh to you. How do you do that? Well, dancing has taught me how to relive every rehearsal. So you just have to relive it. That moment that you're sharing, that story, you have to relive it. The moment you are not living it as you're performing it, you're not embodying it. It doesn't have the energy and the passion. So a way to practice is simply that, is simply every time you rehearsing your speech, if you're writing it. Now, that's the only way I know how to do speeches is by writing it. So I can't share any other way. But every time you are rehearsing it, you have to embody it. Every time you speak it, just one paragraph, just go through one paragraph, stay with one paragraph and embody that paragraph. What does that mean? It means feel when you wrote that, what did you intend? Feel the message that you want to share. Feel the emotions that you are eliciting in that paragraph. So it's a matter of, and the thing is also the problem here is that rehearsal can take away from authenticity. So what I do is I don't rehearse to memorize. I rehearse to tell my story over and over again, and it keeps changing. So as long as I know how my story progresses and what comes next, I don't get stuck on the exact details. I let it flow. Every time I just let it come. I rehearse it as it's happening right there. So another way to do it is rehearsing it in different spaces. So I rehearse in the shower. I rehearse in my roof. I rehearse at the beach. I rehearse while I'm walking from work home. Because when you're doing that, you don't have the script. So it's just like, it's in your head, and I time myself. Because at that point, you already know what you have to say, but at that point, timing does become important for me. So at that point, I time, and I see, I'm always like a minute over time. And I'm like, oh, always a minute over time. So yes, but those are small details that to me also, I guess in competition, a minute over time is a disqualification. So it's an important detail. And something that I heard somewhere is that the speech is not 7 minutes. It's between 5 to 7 minutes. So you could have a 5-minute speech, but my speeches are always being practiced at 8 minutes. So like I said, the ending for me is always messy. I struggle with that. I struggle with it because I never make it in time. So at the end of the day, I improvise my ending, and because I'm rushing and I just need to get there. So these are some weaknesses that I'm sharing with you. And ultimately, rehearse your speech differently. Bring a new life to it every time. As dancers, we're used to it. You might not be so used to it, but explore doing it in different spaces.
Thanks for your insights, Nikita. I love that element of exploring in different spaces, be it in shower, be it somewhere while traveling. This is definitely a takeaway for me. I will try this and keep you informed how it goes. Now we have a Toastmaster, Namami, who has a question. When we select a topic for a speech, and there are many subtopics under that main topic, but all of the subtopics are very intriguing at that moment, how to select the best one?
Hi. You have many speeches to give. You're not just giving one speech. So you don't have to select the best one. Select the one that resonates with you and work on that one. And then leave the rest because you have more speeches to give. I mean, I have the same problem. And giving topics names for me, I struggle to name a topic, to name a speech. But really, you don't have to tackle everything at once. You just have to take what resonates with you then. So whichever works with you. And you know what? That might change on the day of your speech. You might not even resonate with that. So you should also allow yourself to be flexible, but being flexible comes with a feeling secure, feeling safe, and it comes after practice. After giving some speeches, you become more comfortable. You also become more comfortable with your club. You become more comfortable at failing. And sometimes I would say just go with what resonates the best. I've had actually my club contest speech that I won, I backed out the week of that speech. I said, I can't do this. I had too many things to juggle. And I said, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do the competition. And my coach said, nope, you're doing it. And the evening before the competition, I rewrote a whole new speech and I won that club competition. Now, the thing is just that speech resonated with me, nothing else. In that moment, it was the best resonance. It was the best speech that I could connect to. And that was the one.
Thank you, Nikita. So you have too many elements, take away and see what is it that resonates with your heart truly for that speech. And you do have the stories for your upcoming speeches. Thank you.
100%.
Now we do have, and we do have a question from Shreya. The way you mentioned, everyone has a different method of delivery apart from dancing. How can we improve ourselves?
Movement. My answer to that is movement and connection. You have to know yourself. You have to know I spoke about the lady who said that I'm natural. It's because I am natural, because I'm confident about me. I'm confident about what I know and what I don't know. I'm confident enough to look back at my recordings. There are a lot of people who cannot look back at themselves. there are a lot of people who cannot hear their own voice because they just don't like it. Now, the thing is that when you're so confident and grounded in yourself, these things they become important to you because, like I said, I'm my best critic. So how do we do that? My answer is movement. It's not, usually we say we don't have time for movement, but I stretch when I'm standing in a queue to go to the bank, a bank queue. I'm stretching. I am not afraid to move wherever I am. Movement allows us to be aware of our breathing, okay? Now, if you're a nervous speaker, you need to ground your breath. You need to shake some of that nervousness off. So if you don't know how to breathe, that's going to be difficult because you might try, but it might not be effective. And how do we breathe to release this? Not here. So you can put, in case you don't know, I'm going to just give you a short tutorial. You can put your hands, however, put them on top of each other on your belly. Now, when you inhale, your belly doesn't pull in. No, that's the wrong way to breathe. That's the flight and fright. When you inhale, it goes like a balloon and you feel your hands rising. And on the exhale, it releases. Now, most bodies I've worked with, I would say 92% of the bodies I have worked with in my life, we have reprogrammed our breathing. But when you look at a baby will not breathe the way we breathe. A baby will inhale, like stomach goes up on the inhale, and it releases on the exhale. And again, breathing is not just in our abdomen, it's also here, opening up. Okay, the deeper we want to go, the more sound we should make. You can also breathe in ways with humming, ways that you can vibrate your cells. So in simplistic, as answering the question simply, I believe in movement. Movement has always been my healer. Movement has always been the thing that I connect to. And it has also been the way that I've discovered myself. I cannot live a day without moving, because what happens is that insecurities is movement is confident, it boosts your confidence. Go to the gym and come back. How do you feel? You feel alive, you feel confident, you feel like you can do anything that's coming into your way. That's the power of movement. And you know what? There are thousands of ways to engage our bodies. Thousands. You just have to find which way is the best for you. And at that moment, because that will change over time, you'll enjoy different things at different times. But yes, for example, I saw as we were doing the breathing, did anyone get up to try and breathe? Did anyone sit up, opening up their posture? Something as simply as doing this before your speech, doing this, opening up the heart space before. These things are simple, but really they make a tremendous difference. And you can just try it and be your own witness.
Thanks, Nikita. Breathing, it helps you to keep yourself grounded, and some stretches, especially going before the stage, gives you kind of a confidence. And what other tips do you have for people who have shaky legs or sweaty palms while they face the stage, in the very start of their career?
It still happens to me. I'm sweating in this right now. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. My advice is to try and ground yourself as much as you can before a speech. Now, there's a dilemma, because sometimes if you're online, what I do is I switch off my camera and I get into my body. I go into the ground in a squat and I touch the ground and I move. But the dilemma is, what if you're going to a presentation where there are people present with you in person? Can you go to the bathroom to do that? No. So I will start with my feet, like just standing with my legs naturally apart and grounding my toes. I will start with, I mentioned in my speech, it's okay to take a moment. So if I go on stage and I'm sweaty, sometimes admitting also helps, hey? Sometimes just saying, whew, how nervous. I'm so nervous to stand in front of all of you amazing people today. But here I am. And then affirm yourself. But here I am. We're going to do this together. So sometimes admitting helps it, just to shake it off. Admitting it, people connect to that. Okay, so we talk about connection because there are so many people who can feel you. They have the same experience. So as you admit that you are so nervous, they hold the space for you. Now, here's a very important thing that I've learned is that people don't want to see you fail. They want to see you succeed. So have faith that people are there to hold the space for you. If you're sweaty, it's okay. Take that moment, ground yourself, wipe your hands, shake it off. Really, these things are important because at the end of the day, they make your message, they deliver your message with more presence, more confidence, more grounding. And that's what's important, right? Otherwise, you're going to have a message with a high-pitched voice because you are so nervous. And then at the end of the day, you're going to leave and people won't be connected to you because you know what? Everyone was looking at you on stage, being nervous. When you're nervous on stage, you're making people nervous. So it's okay to admit you're nervous. It's okay to be nervous. We all get nervous. It's great. It's helpful. But Lance Miller says, turn your nervous energy into excitement energy.
Thank you, Nikita. So the red card is up to just sum up to all the questions and insights we've received from you. Stay grounded, have your breath work in place, do some stretches, enjoy the stage, even if you have sweaty hands, shaky legs, it's okay. Keep yourself grounded, be at the moment. Confirm and confront and also affirm yourself with a positive message and share a story that is very close to your heart. So this is your moderator, Meena, signing off and handing the stage back to our Toastmaster of the day, Richa. Over to you.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Meena, for acting as a moderator. It's not easy at times, but you made it so interesting. And we are really blessed and grateful and honored to have our facilitator as Nikita. I'm sure you are not only being a great speaker, but you are an actor overall. So you are a full packet. So I'm short of words. So to do this justice, we have a seasoned Toastmaster who has been awarded 3 times. Can you believe it? Who has been awarded 3 times with the highest award by Toastmasters International, that is Distinguished Toastmaster. So he is the gentleman who is going to do the part of evaluation for you. He's a professional speaker, an OD consultant, and he is a social influencer from Kolkata. He believes that world is full of great ideas. So we should be an enabler. So over to you, DTM Chayan.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Richa. Well, Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters and guests, and Toastmaster Nikita in particular. I was looking up in the dictionary for the meaning of the word Nikita. And, first, before I went to the Greek, I went to the Sanskrit word. And the Sanskrit meaning of the word Nikita means goddess. And you definitely came as a goddess on the screen today, sharing all your tips and tricks. And I believe a lot of people are going to benefit from the way, you demystified writing speeches and finding speech ideas. Let me look at a couple of things. First of all is the overall appearance. You had the wonderful contrast of black and white, which ensured that the focus of the audience was on you. There was no background, there was no distractions over there which were taking it off. It was clearly on you. So I think that was very well done. You started off with a very catchy line which caught everybody's attention. You said, I'm the master of my own technique. You never claimed that you are a master of everything. You just said you are a master of your own technique. So automatically, as a speaker, I leaned forward to listen to what you had to say. So I think that was very well done. The audience was hooked in. You had these wonderful gestures that you were phrasing, you're gesturing to self when you're talking about your own experiences and how you have developed over time and learned things and move forward on that. So I think those were there. And two more things that I found out is, the importance of breathing. You, I think, gave a very good suggestion. This is something that was a learning for me as well. So I definitely take this back very importantly from this meeting of the importance of breathing when you are giving a speech. And of course, you had wonderful pauses in the way you allowed the content and the feeling to sink in. Now, Nikita, in terms of what we could have done to improve this already good speech into something better, I noticed that there were a particular moment, in fact, two times, when you had to glance on your right to refer to something. I think it was your notes, right? And I understand that in a long workshop like that, you have to have reference. My recommendation would be for you to consider that having those notes placed either above your camera or use of a teleprompter where your notes are, where it'll appear you're looking into the screen while you may be referring to your notes. So that is something, as a professional presenter and somebody who's taking workshops, you may want to consider. There's also an opportunity for you to consider a wireless remote to manage your screen. So I think for scrolling, you had to go back and, put over there. So that could have helped you to stop that movement, which was unnecessary over there. But, all in all, it was an amazing workshop. And then when I went to the Greek history and I found that the word Nikita means earth and victorious, you definitely came as a goddess telling us how to be grounded and to be victorious in our speeches. Thank you so much. And over to the Toastmaster today.
Thanks a lot, DTM Chayan, for doing the justice. I'm sure it must have been the most challenging evaluation, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Well, we have been blessed to have our facilitator as Nikita today because there are so many elements what we need to reflect on and absorb. So I would request all of you to unmute yourself and say loudly whatever I say. Are you ready? Unmute yourself and repeat after me. Unmute yourself, all of you, and be at your loudest. Don't worry what the neighbors are going to think. I am the best.
I am the best.
I am
The best.
I am the best.
I am the best.
I am the best.
I am
the best.
Thank you, all of you. And now we are going to start with our regular meeting of Toastmasters International. I am sure all of us were glued and mesmerized with the workshop today because we had such a celebrity with us. We are all blessed. And all this happened because of the hard work and sincere efforts of our one and only leader, Toastmaster Minal. So let's give him also a big round of applause before we move to the next segment. Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Minal, for making it possible. We could never have even dreamt of having a meeting or a session by such a nice, gentle lady with such a great experience. I'm sure all of you believe that life is a journey. Yes, my dear friends, we just heard from our facilitator of the day that it has been a journey from a transformation from a dancer to a trainer to a traveler to a storyteller and a lot more. And as I mentioned in the end, she is a total package of what is required from an actor. So for me, she's an actor also. Now, if I go back to what made me think about this wonderful theme of life is a journey, let me tell you what actually happened. Few weeks back, Toastmaster Vikas called me up because he was starting with his new podcast. And he asked me, what are the places you have traveled till date? And this actually made me reflect on, I have traveled to so many places from Sikkim to Punjab and Hyderabad and many more. But yes, there are many more places which I still need to travel and explore, because every place has given me so much to learn. I remember when I went to Sikkim Manipal University. Eat chilies, everything and anything. And they are fond of non-vegetarian food. And during that time, I remember I was So if you know your why, you will be able to carry on your journey, whether it is of as a traveler, as a professional, or as a Toastmaster. Toastmasters International Organization is a worldwide global organization. Believe me, and it is like I had noted down few figures. Up till now, we have got more than 2 lakh members, and we are existing in more than 144 countries. And I'm sure by the time I'm sharing this number with you, this number would have increased. So if you are looking for a growth or enhancement as a leader or as a communicator, be a Toastmaster. In every Toastmasters meeting, there are 3 important segments. In the first segment, we have prepared speeches where the speaker gets enough time to prepare and to understand the objective. On the other hand, we have a second segment, which is the most enthralling segment of every Toastmasters meeting, because there the guests get the leverage of participation. You can speak, you can be natural, but you will be there on the stage for few minutes. And third important segment, which is the most critical and important segment of Toastmasters meeting, is the evaluation segment, where we get to know what is it that was very good and what is it that we need to work on. So everybody craves for a good evaluation, for an honest evaluation. And believe me, there is a fourth segment also. Can you tell me what is this fourth segment all about? You can raise your hand, or you can just unmute and tell me. Okay, let me just disclose. This fourth segment is a networking segment. Whenever we have offline meetings, physical meetings, this is known as a coffee meeting, or you can just make friends, share your learnings and growth with each other, make friends and be there as and in order to have a long-term association. And if it is an online meeting, you can just stop recording and chit chat, share your experiences. Are you ready to go? So let us start with the first segment of the meeting, because we have our speaker who is actually waiting eagerly to be on the floor. But before we invite the speaker, we have another person who is going to evaluate him. And she is none other than Toastmaster Meena, who told me that she, as a traveler, learns different culture, different customs, food, and a lot many things. So let me invite on the virtual stage evaluator Toastmaster Meena to tell us what is the objective of the speech of our speaker of the day. Over to you, Toastmaster Meena.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the Day, Richa. Today we have speaker one, Toastmaster Mrinal, who is attempting his second speech in L1 in Visionary Communication Path. This is writing a speech with purpose, and purpose of this project is for the member to learn or review basic methods for writing a speech with a defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. No to the timer. The speech is for 5 to 7 minutes. Wishing you the very best, Mrinal. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Meena, for telling us the speech details. Our speaker believes that we should never lose hope. He has been a winner of Hall of Fame and a winner of CPO Excellence Award. He's done his post-graduation diploma in business management, marketing, and IT, and he's currently working with GSK. And you will be happy to know that he is our dearest and amiable president of Globetrotters Toastmasters International. He also told me that he believes that everyone has the potential to fight back. So what is it that we are waiting for? So let us welcome him on the floor. His speech title is Who Am I? Who am I? Mrinal. Mrinal, who am I?
Thank you, all of you, for your presence. Just received a mail from Emma, and I am fortunate having such a beautiful team. Now India is the #1 team in globally. This is possible because of your hard work and dedications. You play a very crucial role as a collaboration. Each and every department, we are having a very talented people, and this is possible because of you. Do you know this year our growth rate is? Yes, 90%. Across the globe, we are the highest contributor in terms of growth rate. And this is possible because of you all. And I am a happy, a proudest managing director of your company. Thank you so much. I think you all are surprised, am I right? Yeah, this is me. I am Mrinal. I am in the year 2028. And I am the MD of one of the MNC company. I know you all are here to help me to reach my next dream result. And that is could be the MD. So without your support, that is not possible. So here am I, Mrinal Kantigos, in the year 2028. This is not so easy. Just down memory level. I memorize when I start my corporate career. I thought that I have completed MBA. Maybe I'm having a very good package, good office, a beautiful secretary. But trust me, real world is so different than the imaginary world. There are a lot of challenges out there. I still remember first day, I just fall down. But thing is that you should be fall forward, not fall backward. That's important. That part you should take care of that. First day, I'm wearing a jacket, and even in the winter, I'm wearing a blazer, summer vacation. And first day I realized that I need to walk with a 10 kg of bag and walking almost 10 kilometers per day. Why? Because I joined profession called pharmaceutical industry. My first steps towards medical representative in the Delhi. I work in a overcrowded area. So we can work only by walk only. 10 kilometers per day walk. And after 2 months, because Delhi is a hot place, more than 40 to 45 degree temperature in the summer season. After 2 months, I am sick. I was totally bedridden for 1 month. I was totally devastated. I was demotivated. And I thought, what is my dream and what I am doing with my career? Just started my journey, just step a few steps, and I'm totally demotivated. What I am doing, I have to long way to do. During that time, it's a great learning experience for me. I started a lot of books, motivational books, those who failed their life and they have succeeded in their life, like Jack Ma, Reliance, Dhirubhai Ambani, Ratan Tata, even your surrounding areas, in your friend circle, those who struggle a lot, but you can get inspired for them. I just follow. I should be focused. What I am doing in my career, I should be focused. I should follow the day-to-day basis of me. I can't go one day 0 to 100, but I can go 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 40, and at least from 40 to 100, I can reach that. So that way I started my journey. I try to learn new things each and every day, focus on my positivity, and try to learn new things from those who are the expert in the industry. Within short span of time, just 1 year later, I got recognized and a part of the strategy meet. And I was selected among 2,000 employees. We are 4 of them, and I am one of them. I feel I'm the head right now. That day, I literally cried on that day. I literally cried. Finally, my hard work paid off. At the age of 25, I first time traveled by flight. This is a emotional moment for me. Then I never look back. After 1 year, I got worldwide recognition award. So I'm selected around almost 3,000 employees, and I am one of them in top 20 employee. So then I was totally addicted for success. So dear friends, I believe in one thing. You have believe in yourself. You should be continue focus on your dedication, your hard work. It is part of take care of you. But why I am sharing my story with all of you? Yes, these have some relevant to all of you. Why I am telling them? Such as ordinary student who can visit nowadays, almost I visited 12 countries and I travel flight each and every week nowadays. If such an ordinary person can achieve this level, think of you people, what you all can achieve in your life. I believe in one thing, be a lifelong student. Stay hungry, stay foolish. Dream big, believe big, trust big, and your result will be big. Trust me, my friends. What do you think, Toastmaster of the day?
Thanks a lot for inspiring us. You know, after attending the workshop, I have also become a rule breaker. But no worries, we can always mend it. So it's time for me to invite on the stage our evaluator, general evaluator for the day. She's none other than Toastmaster Vaibhavi, who is a software engineer and wants to be a professor one day. And I wish her all the best. She's also currently serving as a Vice President Education and Vice President Membership, Public Relation Membership in Speak Up Toastmasters Club. When I asked her, what are the 3 things that we should carry as a traveler? She told me the first should be your mobile phone, the second should be your water bottle, and third should be Lord Ganesha idol. So please welcome on the floor our general evaluator for the day, Toastmaster Vaibhavi.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Richa. That was really warm and welcoming. I wish that I could have attended these meetings more so that I get more dose of motivation, inspiration, and whatnot. Hello, good evening, Toastmasters and guests. I am Toastmaster Vaibhavi and I am serving you as the general evaluator. My role is to monitor the overall functioning of the meeting, right from the starting of the meeting till the ending of the meeting. But this is a memo task. I can't do this all alone. I have a big bunch of team, which I call it as auxiliary team or a tag team. So one by one, I'll be calling them upon the dais and they will be explaining you the role. First is the timer. Toastmaster Arindam Mishra is a banker by profession and a writer by heart. He's secretary at Globetrotters Toastmasters Club. So with a huge round of applause, please welcome on the virtual podium timer, Toastmaster Arindam Mishra. Toastmaster Arindam Mishra, please take over and explain your role.
Please keep the applause going for our general evaluator. Thank you so much for such a humbling welcome. Damn, I'm late for my interview. Why is the damn traffic not moving? I would be late for my interview today, and I would definitely miss this job. Driver Saab, can you tell the traffic manager to just do the thing very well? Well, that's the importance of time. Time and tide waits for none, and we are here as a part of it. And the biggest essence of any Toastmaster meeting is that we would ensure that T do not just stand for Toastmasters International, but it stands for time. So, keeping that essence alive, I would be very proud and humble to consider myself as the timer for today's meeting. And as the timer for today's meeting, my role is to look after every speeches, comments, table topic speakers, as well as the individual evaluators about the time that they consume while reflecting upon their speeches as well as comments. Coming to the first speaker and the only speaker, he has already, delivered his speech, and doesn't matter, sometimes we can tweak things a bit. Otherwise, things become a bit monotonous. Anyway, so for the general rules for everyone in the audience present here, for any speech, the time limit shall go between 5 to 7 minutes, except for an icebreaker, which goes on for 4 to 6 minutes. In that case, as the timer for any speaker, my role would be to show the timer card, as I have flashed already throughout the meeting, is for a speaker to ensure that while on green card, he has spoken for 5 minutes, on yellow, he has spoken for 6, and on red, he has spoken for 7 minutes. To mention that for every speaker, the time limit shall have a grace period or extension for 30 seconds on both the upper and lower sides. Now coming to their individual evaluator, the time limit shall pertain to 2 to 3 minutes, with 2 minutes as the lower time, the 2.5 minutes as the average time you can say, and 3 minutes as the upper time, with again 30 seconds grace period on both the sides. I will be flashing the green, yellow, and red card consecutively on that very order. Coming to the table topic speakers, the time limit shall pertain to no more than 2 minutes, and there is a no grace period on the lower side. I shall show the green card at 1 minute. At 1 minute 30 seconds, I shall show the yellow, and at 2, I shall show the red. There is a grace period of just 30 seconds on only the upper side. So you need to speak for at least 1 minute to be qualified for voting. With that, at the end, I'll be telling up about who has followed the time and whose shirt is amazing by the tide of it at the end of the day when called upon by the general evaluator. Until then, do enjoy the meeting and be on time. Back to you, general evaluator.
Extremely well explained, timer, Mr. Arinandam. It couldn't have been better than this by correlating to our real life examples. I only request you, timer, to please put the timing report in the chat box as well when I call you in the third segment. Okay, moving further, we have Toastmaster Sweetie, who is playing the role of our counter. She's working at Bosch and she calls herself as Foodie. With a big round of applause, please welcome on the virtual podium Toastmaster Sweetie.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. The purpose of my role is to note words and sounds that are used as crutch or pause filler by anyone who speaks. During this meeting, I have been listing for overused words, including and, well, but, so, and you know. I have been and I will also listen for filler sounds, including and I am noting down and will note when a speaker repeats a word or phrase such as I or this means twice. At the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times that each speaker used these expressions when I will be called upon by General Evaluator. Thank you, and over to you, General.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Sweetie. That was really sweet way of explaining your role.
Thank you.
So, moving further, Toastmaster Kshitij Srivastava, who's the active listener today, he says that he's a research assistant at Center of Sustainable Mobility, IIIT Delhi, one of the geeks, one of the premium brains of our country. Wow. He says that he likes to learn, listen, and play music. So, with a big round of applause, please welcome on the virtual podium Toastmaster Kshitij to play the notes of his role, active listening. Over to you, Toastmaster Kshitij.
Thanks a lot for the introduction, Madam General Evaluator. As my role today, with my role today as the active listener, I shall be monitoring the entire session, figuring out various events that occur throughout the meeting, and making sure that all of us, everyone present, especially the Toastmasters and the guests, were listening actively to whatever has been said in the entire session. At the end, when called upon by the General Evaluator, I shall be asking a few questions which can make sure that all of us were very active during the session and made note of the few key points that occurred during the meeting. Over to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Extremely well explained, Toastmaster Kshitij. No wonder you are a musician at heart, because everything that you told was in a rhythmic tone. Tung, 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 something like that. So with that, moving further, we have grammarian Toastmaster Debanjana Ghosh. She says that she is Management Consulting Associate in Healthcare Domain, and she too, just like Toastmaster Kshitij, likes to play musical keyboard. So with the fingers floating in air, other than clapping, let's call her like the notes on the virtual podium. Toastmaster Debanjana Ghosh. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Thank you for such a warm welcome. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. As a grammarian, I'm going to be your vocabulary flag bearer of the day. So as a role of the grammarian, I'm going to pay close attention to your language usage and noting down good phrases, excellent vocabulary, and occurrences where the grammar usage could have been better. Please note, the word of the day is flabbergasted. It's an adjective which means greatly surprised or astonished. It can be used for both for the positive and negative connotation. An example would be, you could be flabbergasted at how expensive the park ticket is, or how incredibly delicious the pineapple pizza is. Toastmasters, grab this word and try to use this as much as possible to earn some extra brownie points. All are requested to do thumbs up or applaud whenever the word of the day is being used. For your benefit, I'll be sharing the term, the meaning, and the usage examples in the chat box. I will share my report whenever I'll be called upon by the General Evaluator. Thank you, and over to you, Madam General Evaluator.
We are already flabbergasted by your role, Toastmaster Debanjana. No wonder you are also a musician at heart, because your words, your presence was resonating perfectly with those musical tones. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you saw the mammoth task is being divided equally amongst all the dear Toastmasters, that is the auxiliary team, that is my dear team, the tag team, timer, active listener, our counter, and grammarian. So we will be back again in the third segment, that is the evaluation segment, soon after the table topic. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Richa.
Thanks a lot, General Evaluator. I was like feeling the kind of energy and the way you had spread the enthusiasm. I really appreciate that. Thanks a lot. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. I remember in 2015 December when I joined Toastmasters International. In the very starting, I was given the opportunity to be the junior most ranking officer in the executive, that is Sergeant at Arms. And very soon, after 6 months, I was promoted as the Vice President Education, then Vice President Public Relations. And my mentor show kind of like they were able to see kind of leadership traits in me. So they promoted me as the area director. And very soon, I was blessed to be there on the floor as the winner of the table topic. And in 2018, I completed my distinguished Toastmasters journey. So this was my transformation journey, shy girl to a motivational trainer who travels across the country and inspires and motivates the youth. I've also been blessed to achieve the Leadership Excellence Award as well as a mentor for various IIMs and IITs across the country. But this is not the end. The learning for you is trust the process and just carry on. So let us move to the next segment of the Toastmasters meeting. And this is, as I promised you, this is going to be the most enthralling session because our table topic master is the youngest in our Globetrotters Toastmasters. So aren't you waiting eagerly to have him on the floor? So over to our table topic master, Madhusudan, who has got an experience of more than 60 years. So over to you now.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. This table topic session is one of the important sessions and components of the Sunday's evening meeting today. I will be giving the topics. It will be easier ones only, so it will not be a difficult one. So time allotted as per the protocol is 1 to 2 minutes. And the purpose of this session is to improve for the members or guests their impromptu speaking and their ability to think quickly and deliver what is in their mind for answering impromptu question or topic. Over to you.
Toastmaster Madhusudan, you are on mute. Please unmute yourself and carry on with the round.
Am I audible now?
Yes, now you are audible.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I am table topic master for the today's table topic session. And it is one of the important components of evening meeting. I will be giving the topics. It is open to all members and guests. The time allotted as per the protocol is 1 to 2 minutes. And for the Toastmasters, there will not be any choice once the question is asked. For guests, I think they can switch over for a request for another question. Over to you.
Sir, I want to take up the first topic, sir. I am Vaibhavi.
Sir, Vaibhavi is waiting for the first topic. You may share.
Achha, first topic, just I will be asking it. 3 things that you enjoy during summer.
How can anybody forget those popsicles that we so-called ice creams, although they did not have milk in it, sucking it, hogging on it, and relishing it all your heart. This was the moment only given as a boon during summers because of the scorching heat and the craving deep down the heart. So something that tops the list is any day a popsicle, in particular a mango popsicle. Well, what is a summer without real mangoes, juicy? I mean, we have a farm ourselves right in our city, and I am very sure that the manure that my father has put into that plant is of the topmost quality. Why? Because the sweetness that it gives once I put in the mouth, I forget that I have skin rashes. Okay, for some other time, because summers are horrible for me, but the mango comes as a great compensation for those itchy or irritating days. So something that is second on the list is obviously delicious, juicy mangoes. Well, as a spiritual being, I cannot forget my connection with my spirit or my spiritual path, that is the festivals that in particular come in summer, first being Holi. Holi, which says that celebrate everything with colors, but first burn the badness in you, the Holika in you. So yes, the festivals that are aligned or that come in summer is utmost of the great importance, because I revered Suryadev, that is the sun god, who is the creator of all of us. So popsicle, mango, and the festivals are my favorite of the summers. What about you, table topic master? What do you think is your favorite things?
Very well said. I felt as if I am eating a mango. So anybody interested, please raise your hand. So first, so who will I should give first? I see 3 hands being raised. So I will call as per my choice. I will go to Toastmaster Shushmita. Toastmaster Shushmita, one positive, memorable incident or event that happened during a family holiday or your recent trip.
Who doesn't want to go on a trip? And being a Globetrotters, part of Globetrotters Toastmaster Club, we all love traveling. And the most memorable, positive things that ever happened to me in my life, that too on a trip, that was during the last Christmas vacation. It was not a family trip, but it was a trip with my daughter. It was basically a camping experience from my daughter's school. And we went for Purulia for camping and trekking. And it was so positive. My daughter and me, we both have learned many things. We have experienced the nature, how to stay in the lap of nature, and how to survive with basic amenities, not in AC room or with very well-furnished room with attached bathroom. Instead, it was a tenting experience. We were staying 10 members inside a tent, and we knew how to share our space. That's all we have learned from that camping experience. And it has a very great impact on my daughter's life. She is just 7 years old, but she has started doing her work herself. And we both have learned the value of disciplined life. And that's it. Over to you, Topic Master.
Well, you have clearly explained that experience counts in our journey of life. So next question, who is willing to come forward? Next question, I will go with Pinky. So,
yes, sir. I am eagerly waiting my turn.
Pardon?
I am eagerly waiting my turn.
Yes,
Table
yes, yes.
topic. Sir,
I will
please
give.
provide me table topic.
I will give you one important, very interesting question. What do you admire the most in people who work with you? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
So please repeat.
What do you admire the most in people who work with you or who are friends with you?
I admire the way the people work with me and the surroundings are with our me. The way of helping people, the way of cleaning the environment, the way of loving animals, the way of providing such a service that are incredible. I admire lots of things. They just showing the way. If suppose if I am going somewhere and there is an old man wanting some help, and there is lots of people and who is unable to help, but I admire if someone is able to help that old man. So this is the process and this is the way you can help. And I admire the way helping. First of all, helping is a very good things. We should help everywhere where it is demanded. So first of all, I admire, and I admire also the way of cleaning your environment, because we live in our fresh environment. We take fresh air. So if it is our responsibility to face our environment, such as we clean our houses, so it is our also duty to clean our environments, clean our society, clean our surroundings, where people live, where people enjoy in every moment. This is our responsibility. And thirdly, I want to express the way of admire is love animals. This is also a wonderful way. Animals is also living things, and now living things like trees, and this is the way of helping. So thank you. That's my view.
Well said, Pinky. Service to man is service to God. Well said. So next, who is coming up? Next one. So I see Kamal Barik and Amit Singh. Let me move quickly. So Toastmaster Kamal, if you could change something in your neighborhood, what would you change?
We all are living in a neighborhood that have a lot of problems. I guess no one will say that my neighborhood is perfect. I don't have any problem. Is there anyone? You can raise your hand that your neighborhood is free of any problem. I guess no. So similarly, my neighborhood also have so many problems. One thing I would like to change here is sometimes I feel that I would play the music with loud volume and dance with that music. But the next moment I realize that if I do so, the next moment the people of my neighborhood will come to my home and maybe probably beat me with stick. What are you doing? Why are you playing some music with so loud volume? Listen to yourself only. We don't need to hear. I know if someone from my neighborhood would do this, I will also do the same thing. I would also ask them to stop not playing music with loud volume. But sometimes I feel that I should play the music with loud volume. I can enjoy the music and dancing with the music. So I would like to change that my neighbors don't get that much sound from my music. so that they don't have problem, and I also can enjoy playing music, dancing with them in my mind, in my home. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
So well said. Cooperation is a must. So well done, all the table topic speakers. As time is a constraint, I will hand over to General Evaluator.
Thanks a lot, Table Topic Master. I was flabbergasted by the active participation of the speakers today. It was nice to see the kind of energy that was flowing, and everybody was raising their hand, and we could, tell them next time, next time. This reminds me when I was there in Punjab. In February, I was there at Chitkara University for again a soft skills training session and for a pre-placement training session. And there I happened to meet a pretty girl who became my very close friend. But after 2 days, I noticed certain things. If we were supposed to go on right, she was moving on left. If we were supposed to go straight, she was going somewhere else. And then suddenly somebody told me something which really surprised me, astonished me, and made me introspect. She was partially blind. And the reason was she was spending too much of screen time, especially during the COVID days. She was working online throughout. And gradually, her eyesight has reduced. And this has made her partially blind. And after some time, I happened to travel to Gurgaon. This was just recently, in fact, for a Dale Carnegie training program. And this has been my dream from a long old time. So I wanted to fulfill my dream. So I went to Gurgaon, took the initiative, and there you won't believe how my trainer looked. She was very confident, learned. Obviously, she was my trainer there for our training program. But her left hand was not a normal hand. It was like she never had proper fingers, but still she could deliver the message and information what she wanted to. And everything was going on as in normal training program it happens. But believe me, there was something else what was going on at the back of my mind. And I'm sure the same you all must be wondering, what is it that I'm sharing with you? Today, in our Globetrotters Toastmasters meeting, as a table topic master, I have shared with you 3 different journeys of my life, very important and very close. Firstly, I shared with you the number of places and universities that I have traveled. Secondly, I shared with you my Toastmasters journey. And thirdly, I just shared with you my journey to a particular university. But there is something more that I want to tell you. What is it that you are waiting for? Perfection is only a myth. Don't feel that everybody will be an expert or perfect. Everybody keeps learning because learning is a never-ending process. And the only impossible journey in your life is the journey which you have not even started. So what is it that you are waiting for? If you are not feeling well, that is not an excuse. If you don't have one hand or one finger, that could be no excuse. There is a lot more what must be happening in your mind, isn't it? So, my dear friends, please remember what was quoted by Martin Luther. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. Whatever you do, the motive is just keep moving. So I'm sure that you will be able to carry some things, at least what I wanted to share, some things to reflect on and some things to take on. So it is time for me to start with the evaluation round, which is the most critical round. So over to our general evaluator of the day.
Keep the applause going for our lovely Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Richa. Well, before I submit my report, I will call upon the virtual podium, my mammoth team that I told you that will flabbergast all of you with their report. Topping the list is Toastmaster Arindam Mishra Timer.
You are
Do we have
muted.
Okay. Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator. Regarding the timings that I need to provide right now, the speaker Toastmaster Mrinal is on time at 6 minutes 36 seconds. We haven't yet listened to his evaluation until now. Toastmaster Vaibhavi as the table topic speaker have taken 2 minutes 8 seconds. Toastmaster Shushmita at 1 minute 52 seconds. Toastmaster Pinky at 2 minutes 24 seconds. And Toastmaster Kamal at 1 minute 36 seconds. So I'm glad to inform all of you that everybody has qualified for the voting today. Nobody is disqualified, but we are yet to know the evaluation of our speaker. So with that, back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you for the gentle reminder, Toastmaster Arindam. Now, I'm sorry for breaking the flow. I would like to call upon the virtual podium evaluator of the prepared speaker, Toastmaster Meena, to kindly give the evaluation of the speaker. Meena, the podium is.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Can I have my target speaker, Mrinal, spotlighted along with me, please? Nevertheless, in the interest of time, let me keep going ahead. Toastmaster Mrinal, you certainly flabbergasted me with your inspiring speech. Your speech had an inspiration with a general message that ordinary people can do extraordinary things. I love the way you set the stage with a narration of an event to having a structured speech, bringing in your credibility with your own story. What I like even most is your calm and composed nature while you spoke from the start till end of the speech. The structure seemed perfect for me. You set the stage where you were sick and you felt low, you started questioning life, and you slowly transitioned to a better version of yourself with the aid of motivational books. And then you gave a general takeaway to all of us. What I would have even loved the most here is if you had a scope to introduce a story element to which is that one book that inspired you to bring in this transition. You did mention a couple of 3 books, but one story, what made this transition possible, would have added greater impact to this inspiring speech. A couple of tweaks that you can take care of. Your camera seemed very distracting. It was zooming in and zooming out. You can take care of the camera settings to avoid the distraction so that we can focus on you as a speaker. Second thing was, I love the way you tried leaning forward to bring in the contact or the message while speaking with the audience. This would have been more perfect if your camera was at the eye level. What happened? You couched a little and you came forward. This looked a bit less professional. And the third thing was a bit about the plural forms. It is dedication and people, not dedications and peoples. These little minor tweaks can be taken care of. Certainly, let me remind you, Mrinal, your speech with a general purpose was inspiring, and the specific message that you made me feel is ordinary people can do extraordinary things. Keep going with your story elements, the structure, the way you bring in credibility, and the way you stay calm and composed. Take care of this camera positioning, and I'm sure you will do great in your upcoming speeches. Wishing you the very best. Over to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Keep the applause going, ladies and gentlemen, for the evaluator, Toastmaster Meena. We are indeed flabbergasted by the way you presented your report. Very well. I request the timer to please put in the time taken by the evaluator in the chat box, and thank you again for mentioning what I've missed. However, if I have to have a recommendation for the timer, is that you could have demonstrated the time card change when you were telling your role, because I know that in the workshop you were doing so, but still that is the protocol that we follow. It's your choice, you want to follow it or no. It's just my observation. Going further, we have our counter, Toastmaster Sweetie, to give a report. The podium is all yours, Sweetie.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm back with my report. Toastmaster Mahboni and President's address. I just missed, I haven't noted the accounts. Starting with the Toastmaster of the day, DTM Richa, used 2 times while thanking Mrinal and while talking about our facilitator, and so was used 1 time when she was talking about Dale Carnegie's session. 1 time, but 1 time, was used while she was talking about breaking the rules during in one of her incident, and 6 time was used throughout her journey when she was just trying to explain. And general evaluator TTM, Toastmaster Vaibhavi used 1 time while she was asking question to Toastmaster Nikita, and 1 time so was used while talking about the tag team. So the count is 2. And facilitator Toastmaster Nikita used 3 times and was used 8 times, and 7 times repeats were used, that is now, is, and 2. So the total count is 8. Moderator Toastmaster Meena as a moderator used 1 time and the total count is 1 for her. Facilitator evaluator Toastmaster Chain Pandit used 2 times and while talking about the importance of breathing, and the total count is 2 for him. Speaker 1 Toastmaster Mrinal Kanti Ghosh used so 4 times, 2 times while defining the year, 1 time when he was talking about 10-kilometer walk, and 1 time while talking about the journey, and 1 time and was used, and 1 time he repeated the. So the total count for Mrinal is 13. And as an evaluator, Toastmaster Meena used 1 time so while talking about the camera setting, 1 time and 1 time the was used. So the total is 3 for her. As a today's table topic master, Toastmaster Madhusudan used for 1 time while intro, and 4 times so was used while calling the participants, and the total count is 5 for him. For table topic speaker, Toastmaster Vaibhavi used for 1 time and 2 time and was used while talking about the second best thing, that is mango. So the total count is 3. Toastmaster Sushmita, the second speaker, used and for 3 times while talking about daughter and mom duo. So the total count is 3 for her. And what a speech by Toastmaster Pinky. I was flabbergasted by that. So she used 2 times while starting and 1 time while talking about the animals, and so was used 2 times while speaking about cleaning the environment, and 1 time and was used when she was talking about animals and people. And the way I she used 3 times, that was repeat. So the total count for her is 9. The last speaker, Toastmaster Kamal, used 1 time and I should and I would was used 3 times. So that is under repeats, and the total count is 4 for him. Timer Arindam, while giving the intro, used so for 1 time, but for 1 time and 2 times and was used. The total count is 5. Grammarian Debajana Ghosh used 2 times while giving the intro, and 1 time so was used and was used 1 time. And I couldn't note anything for our active listener, Sitish. So this is my report. Thank you, and back to you, General Evaluator.
That was indeed a well-structured report. Now moving further, active listener Toastmaster Kshitij will give his report or ask us questions.
Yeah. Hi. So after the entire session, I hope we've had a great session today, and I hope all of us were quite interested and leaned into the session. And I also think we've made some really nice key moments here. There was a lot of learning during the workshop, and also throughout the speeches that the prepared speaker, and also in the table topics that we saw. So moving on, I have some 3 to 4 questions that I would like to put up. And starting from the workshop and throughout the prepared speech, 1 or 2 questions, and then also from some from the table topic. Starting, these are very informal and pretty nitty-gritty points, which I would like to ask. So starting with the first question, during the introduction of the workshop, Toastmaster Nikita mentioned that she has learned one Indian form of dance. What Indian form of dancing did she
Odissi.
mention?
Odissi.
Yeah, that's correct. Okay, that's great. So moving on, uh, during the introduction after the workshop, DTM Richa mentioned a number about how strong our Toastmasters community is in terms of the number of members that we have.
2 lakhs.
Can great. I guess Toastmaster is very, very active. Also, now moving on to the table topics. During the our first speaker, Toastmaster Vaibhavi, was asked the question of the 3 things that she loves about summers. Out of those 3 things, what can anyone mention 2 things out of those 3?
Popsicle and mangoes.
Great. I guess we all relate to it a lot, so it was pretty nice. Yeah. So also, yeah, during his prepared speech, Toastmaster Mrinal mentioned the number of countries that he has visited so far. Can anyone? Yeah, great team, Toastmaster Kamal. Yeah, that's it. So I guess we had quite an active session, and it's lovely to. I'm actually flabbergasted about how everyone got all the answers correct. I believe that we have all been very active and listening intent with quite an intent all of the speeches today. That's to a great session today, and over to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Let the applause keep going, Toastmasters. This was tidbit of another revision session by Toastmaster Kshitij. I really have to take personal tuition from you how to be better active listener, because as professor going further, I have to keep in mind what student has what background and what not. Okay, so last but not the least, we have grammarian Toastmaster Debanjana Ghosh, who will be giving our grammarian report. The podium is over to you, Toastmaster Debanjana.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. I must say that I'm flabbergasted by listening to such good usage of grammar, and the terms are plenty of times. So the word of the day, flabbergasted, is being used 8 times by General Evaluator Vaibhavi, 3 times by TM Modi, DTM Richa 1 time, by TM Meena 1 time, by TM Sweetie 1 time, TM Kshitij 1 time, and by myself 1 time I've used. And some of the good usage of the grammar that I have really noted down and I should share, that Vaibhavi has used the sentence of relishing with your all your heart, connection with spiritual path. Then by TM Modi, DTM Richa has used the terms like golden nuggets, perfection is only a myth. Then Team Rinal has also said about dream big, trust big, result will be big, which is kind of a motivating sentence. Team Mina has also used embody your emotions, which is kind of really a good sentence that we can look forward. There are few grammatical errors that I found that we can look forward to work on. Is that animals are living things. We can't say animals are living things. It's better if we are using that animals are living beings, and helping is a good thing. In place of the thing, we can use helping is a good habit. So there are minor instances that we can improve in the grammatical usage. Other than that, it's really great grammar session, like everyone has eased it. So over to you, Madam General.
Let the applause keep going for our grammar Nazi Toastmaster Debanjana. Again, a very detailed and observant report. However, if you allow me, I have a suggestion for you. For 1 time, 2 time, and 3 times, we say once, twice, and thrice. And thereafter, we say 4 times, 5 times. Only for these special cases, once, twice, and thrice we say. We don't say 1 time, 2 time, 3 time. However, these are all nitty-gritty things that comes over the practice. Well, this was my Memoth team. This was my dear team to share my Memoth task. And a big shout out to Toastmaster Sushmita, who immediately used the word of the day in the chat box. This shows her presence of mind. Huge round of applause for table topic master Madhusudan. Your topics were very much relevant and very much comfortable to answer, because at times we find that existential crisis in certain table topic sessions, saying, why did I even join this meeting? But your topics were real good. It was fun session, the loving Sunday that I had. And yeah, that's it. I have great session. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thanks a lot, General Evaluator Vaibhavi, for giving us such a detailed evaluation, because every bit that you mentioned is really going to take us to the next level. All of us have a scope to improve. Even I did note it down. So I would really appreciate if each one of us make an effort to either maintain a diary or just note down whatever, whether like it's a tag team or the general evaluator, whatever bit they say, please make a note of it, and let's work on every area that we need to work on. That is how we will actually become a passionate, real seasoned Toastmaster. But everything will happen gradually, because you know that life is a journey and we are there to climb the ladder of success gradually. So what is it that you are waiting for? Let us have on the virtual floor one and only our President, Toastmaster Minal. Over to you.
Thanks a ton. I must say it's an amazing meeting. We learned a lot of things from the workshop and also rest of the meeting. And onus on us try to implement. So I'll not take time because this meeting is already delayed by 16 minutes. So I just request you, if I think result is already, voting result is done. So just share with me so I can announce the voting results. So today we don't have any prepared speech speaker because I'm the only unknown speaker. So that I don't want. I don't want to goal in a only in free goal post. And rest I think is already there. So can you share with me? Kamal, you are sharing with me? So by the time
I'm sharing with you.
Okay, so by the time Toastmaster Meena, any feedback of the meeting, how we can improve our meeting?
I thoroughly enjoyed being here, Toastmaster Mrinal. When you told 16 minutes overtime, like, oh, was it? Is it as well something I thought? So it was a pleasant meeting on Sunday afternoon. Thanks for the invite. I thoroughly enjoyed being here.
Thank you so much. So I think Toastmaster Pinky, are you there? Subhasis, are you there? Hi, Subhasis.
Pinky is there.
Yeah, Subhasis is also there. Okay, so I'll ask with Vaibhavi, any feedback from your
Yes,
side?
sir. I will put it in the group for the benefit of time. So I will put it in the group, whatever I felt. It was really nice. I'll give detailed feedback in the group.
So we right now, I already received best primary role player of the day. Any guesses? Any guesses from all of you?
Kshitij.
Toastmaster Richa.
Toastmaster of the day.
Yes.
Tough competition, but
Toastmaster of the
still.
day.
Yes, absolutely right. Just unmute yourself and clap for DTM Richa. What an amazing performance on today.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Next, best auxiliary role player. Any guesses?
Kshitij.
Great. But I can see today best auxiliary role player, 3 persons. Toastmaster Devanjana, Toastmaster Arindam, Toastmaster sweetie.
Great.
So 3 of them.
For
getting
the
the same
first
part
time in
of-
the history.
Huh?
All
Now
of us
time
are
for
First
great.
time, first
most-
time such a report has come.
Yes, that's true. Same for me. Now time for the best table topic speaker. Any guesses?
Pinky.
Toastmaster Vaibhavi.
Toastmaster Vaibhavi, any guesses?
Vaibhavi.
Toastmaster Vaibhavi, are you there?
Yes, sir. I don't have any guess. I think everybody was equally good today.
Great. But today you are the winner.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you so
to
much.
you.
Means a lot.
Vaibhavi. Well done. So that's all from my side. Now we can officially end the meeting. It's almost going on 2 hours, 20 minutes.
Thank you very much for inviting me, Toastmaster Mrinal.
Sometimes we should love to break rules also, as quoted by our workshop facilitator.
Yes.
Isn't it?